In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can repair or replace soffit and fascia on your home, just like this small project we've got today. We just had a tornado rip through town, so we've been getting a lot of calls for small soffit and fascia repairs just like this one. Unfortunately, a lot of the time it's due to improper install techniques. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do it to hopefully ensure that it doesn't happen again. Notice on this home, they installed some sections of vented soffit on the gable overhangs, and this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. There's no reason to install vented soffit on your overhangs. It's not venting the roof. It's not inside your vented roof assembly. So there's really no reason for it unless the client specifically just asks for it.
Toss that down.
Now you'll notice I'm not tearing down all of the soffit. I had to give the client the best possible price I could. She was on a budget, and there was really nothing wrong with the soffit that was remaining.
Gotcha. All right, that's snapped back in. All right, I just tossed that one down, Chase. Where you at? Come around here. I just tossed that one down right there. Yeah, I'm gonna need it here in a second. And I'll need the hose here in a second. Just trying to pull these nails out right now. Okay. Okay, we're looking pretty nice right there. This is in good shape, real good shape. Working beautifully. See how it's working? Working pretty nice. All right.
This is a Senko upholstery stapler. It's what I've used for years to attach soffit. Right here, you'll notice I was not able to staple it through the tabs. I just staple it right here. I don't like doing that, but the tabs were already broken on this piece of soffit, so I really didn't have a choice in this situation.
Hey Chase, back off that to 11 5/8. Yep. Here we are. Yeah, that's perfect. Make me one of those invented.
Now, if you don't want to buy a stapler, you're just a homeowner or DIYer just needing to repair or replace a few pieces of soffit, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using hand-driven roof nails to attach the soffit. But a couple of the reasons that I like a stapler like this one, for one, it's a lot faster, more efficient, especially when you're installing a lot of soffit. But also, the staple completely surrounds the nailing flange tabs. So the tab of the nailing flange, like right here, it actually has to break that nailing flange for the soffit to come loose. Whereas on this job and many other jobs that I'm called into, those roofing nails will actually slip around the nailing flange and not break that soffit. It holds a lot tighter when it has to break the actual soffit to come loose.
How's that look? Still looking pretty good? Looks good.
This is my Tapco metal brake. This is the piece of equipment we're going to use to bend the fascia metal. If you don't have one, you can always rent one, or you can find a contractor that's got one. Typically, a contractor will bend your metal for you for a small fee if they're not too busy. You can purchase pre-bent aluminum fascia at a lot of the big box stores or lumber yards, but more often than not, what we find is the profile or the size doesn't match what's already on the house, and the quality of that particular fascia metal is much lower. It'll oil can or wrinkle as you're putting it on much easier. Now this device that I just loaded the roll of coil stock onto is called the Sidewinder. Tapco makes it as well. It makes rolling out the 50-foot long rolls of coil stock much easier. It's a direct load into the metal brake. This is an upgraded accessory. A lot of the metal brakes that you rent won't come with this accessory, so be mindful of that. Now you'll notice in this particular application, I'm rolling out a full 10-foot long length of coil stock, 10 feet, because that's how long my metal brake is. And I want to maximize the amount that I'm putting on the fascia. So I want to cut off a full 10-foot chunk. This is another one of those upgraded accessories that you're probably not going to be able to rent. It's called a slitter, or at least that's what we call it. It slits the aluminum for us so that we don't have to use utility knives. Speeds up the process, makes the cut a lot cleaner. You'll notice here I'm lining up my measurements that I've got marked on the aluminum with these little accessories that I'm flipping up right now. That's because the slitter offsets the cut from the metal brake about 1.5 inches, like you see right there. So you've got to use those little accessory tabs if you're going to use the slitter on the brake. It's now time to bend the actual profile onto this piece of aluminum. Typically, I would hem the top and the bottom before taking this step. It adds strength, it looks better, it's cleaner, but a lot of contractors don't do it. They skip that step because it takes a little bit of extra time. It also adds a lot of rigidity to it. But I'm not taking that step on this particular piece because I have to match what's on the rest of the house. And none of the rest of the house has any type of hem on the fascia metal. This ladder is fairly new to us. It's the new telescoping ladder from Werner. I'll tell you what, if you're in the market for a really compact ladder that telescopes or extends out, this is the one to buy. This thing has a soft collapse so it doesn't smash your fingers when you're ready to collapse it. We love this thing. We keep it in the trailer all the time because it's so lightweight, so convenient, compact. Yeah. Little jobs like this, it really excels. You'll notice here we're starting with the bottom piece of fascia, not the top. That's because we want to lap the joints correctly. And we know that water runs downhill. Well, it's going to run downhill on the fascia just like it is on the roof. So you want to make sure you lap these joints correctly. Start at the bottom and then work your way towards the top. Now they do make specific fasteners for installing aluminum fascia. They're typically painted ring shank nails and they're a little bit more expensive than most nails on the market. That's because they're going to be either aluminum or stainless steel. Fastener placement is also critical. Notice where I'm putting my nails up underneath the fascia through the soffit. I see way too many homeowners and contractors face nailing the fascia in the field. This is completely unnecessary. When you bend the fascia metal, you need to make sure you bend it long enough to where it extends up and behind the drip edge that's underneath the shingles. That small piece of metal that's holding up the edge of the shingles, it's also designed for your fascia to tuck up underneath it. This protects the fascia from getting damaged from water intrusion. So water can't get behind the fascia, but it also serves another purpose when you're using aluminum fascia. It can actually help to hold the fascia metal tight to the framing that you're fastening to. So it's completely unnecessary to put fasteners in the face unless it's at the seam locations. I always face nail at the seams, but the rest of the time I put plenty of nails up underneath that fascia. That's going to conclude this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comment section. If you like this video and you like how-to videos, consider subscribing and hit that like button. It really does help the channel. With that, I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.